Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new features that are coming up in the next few months. Now, don't feel like you need to make notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar and a follow-up fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the Q&A box at the side at any time. I'll be doing my best to keep an eye on them as we go through it, but there's also going to be some dedicated time at the end of the webinar to go through questions. So for the agenda today, Microsoft 365 Copilot Search will be generally available very soon. Ground your Copilot prompts in SharePoint or OneDrive sites. Reference Microsoft Excel files in your Copilot prompts within PowerPoint. Microsoft are adding a new feature for Teams meetings reminders called a join bar, and you'll be able to customize accent colors across your Microsoft Teams app. Then lastly, what's next? As always, it's good to see so many of you coming back and joining us again, and welcome, of course, to all of the new faces as well. Let's start with a quick introduction to Bedroq. My name is Craig Mundy, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager at Bedroq. You might even recognize my voice from other videos on our website or YouTube channel. Bedroq is an IT managed service provider and Microsoft solutions partner for modern work. And this means that most of the IT we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. So that includes things like Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, Azure, etc. We're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is critical. We work with organizations that have some of the high security requirements in the UK, and we manage mission critical IT and operational technology for those highly regulated organizations. The most important thing that we want to achieve, no matter what your organization does, is to make sure that your IT strategy is supporting your business as a whole. Now, we do this with the help of our 8 strategic rocks that you can see on the slide here: data, skills, backup, strategy, investment, security, quality of service, and collaboration. The collaboration rock is the focus of this webinar series, as most of the Microsoft 365 apps that we talk about are collaboration tools. Many people that we come across have invested heavily into their IT and have bought all of these apps. They've got the best Microsoft licenses, but they're not using them to their full potential, and therefore not seeing the best return on investment either. So really, that's the aim of this webinar series, to keep you up to date with everything that's coming out and everything that you can start to implement that you've probably already got access to, and hopefully make a big difference to your business strategy. Bedroq also offer cybersecurity support. I'm sure we've all heard or read about cyber attacks in the news, and we know that it's frequently done through social engineering, through manipulating the humans on the support desk to get passwords changed or to learn some details that will help the attackers gain access to the system. Recovery from something like this can be a lengthy and costly process, so it's increasingly important for any organization of any size to be prepared for these sorts of attacks because they're becoming more and more common. As I've said, Bedroq has a lot of experience of working with organizations with high security requirements. We have cybersecurity specialists who use these sorts of events as ways to improve our own systems and offerings. We're Cyber Essentials accredited, and we're part of the National Cybersecurity Centre Industry 100, meaning that we have a lot of knowledge and guidance to share. So if you're looking to assess or better understand your cybersecurity needs and requirements, please just get in touch and we can discuss best practice, consult on what your organization is doing to prepare, help you understand the why behind these sorts of attacks, as well as offering training to bring you and your team up to speed. Just drop myself an email or go through the contact page on our website, and we'll be happy to set up a meeting with our cybersecurity experts. Okay, let's start off with some Copilot updates. You will soon have access to a new feature called Copilot Search. Microsoft 365 Copilot Search is an AI-powered search experience in the Copilot app. Excuse me. It leverages the Graph and Microsoft 365 Copilot connectors to index content across all Microsoft 365 and third-party apps. It's designed to provide you with a personalized, context-aware, and fully answered answers, I suppose. You're already able to search for certain files or messages using Copilot, but this is set to bring a whole new search experience to users. Now, there's a few key differences, key elements that Microsoft highlighted with this update that I'll talk you through just now. Unified access. You will be able to use Copilot Search, and that's the search bar that's highlighted by the number 1 in this screenshot. You can use it across web, mobile, and desktop versions of the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. So you should get a consistent and full experience of this new search feature across any of your devices. Intelligent search. As I said earlier, the tool will leverage new tech to bring together content from across Microsoft 365 apps, as well as some third-party applications as well. You can see that there are several filter options that you're able to choose from as well. So date modified, type of file or message, if it's from a chat or email chain with a specific person or persons, and you can further specify if the search should be carried out just in Outlook or across a SharePoint site as well. Context-aware results, which I guess is highlighted by the number 2 on the screenshot further down. Copilot is going to interpret your natural language, user context, and organizational relationships to deliver highly personalized and relevant answers, even for some of the more complex queries that you have. The example in the screenshot is a fairly basic search, but you can see a couple of the answers found relating to that search. The first looks like a summary of the results, kind of like when you Google something and you get that AI summary to give you an idea of the sorts of things that are going to come up. And then the next result is a PowerPoint file with a SharePoint logo overlaid it. So not only is it going to highlight the file itself, but it's going to show you the source as well, where it's kept. So whether it was found in Outlook or across a SharePoint site. If you were to scroll down further, then you'd see more relevant results as well. Seamless integration. Integrated with Copilot Chat, you will move smoothly from discovering information to executing tasks using action-oriented queries. You use the search bar to find relevant documents and information, and then head to one of the Copilot agents on the left-hand side of this screenshot here. So for example, analyst or researcher, to then execute your tasks to support your work. Depending on your task, these agents will be better suited to analyzing data versus doing research across more files and the internet to create a fully fledged answer for your question. Now, I have to admit that the separate Copilot app is not something that I use on a regular basis, but as updates like this are rolled out, I can see plenty of reasons to start doing so. The fact that it can carry out searches across Microsoft 365 apps, Outlook, and SharePoint sites seems like a pretty powerful tool to have at our disposal. Then, all in one place, you can take the newly sourced files, pop them into a prompt using the Copilot agents, and get cracking on with your work. This update is due mid to late August for general availability. However, some of you may already have access to it, so fire up the Copilot app and check the top right-hand corner that you can see highlighted by number 3 here. And if you have a toggle, like you can see in the screenshot, then try putting it on and seeing just how powerful an update it is. Staying with Copilot, later this month, you're going to be able to point your prompts at specific SharePoint and OneDrive folders, and even entire SharePoint sites. So Microsoft are developing and rolling out a new set of AI capabilities that they're calling Context IQ that allow you to search for, select, and insert relevant enterprise or personal data directly into your prompts or conversations. This capability helps you to ground or anchor your prompts in specific contextually relevant data, making responses more accurate and therefore more impactful and useful as well. As I say, this update comes in 2 parts. There's SharePoint and OneDrive folders and SharePoint sites. So I'll talk you through how to ground your prompts for both scenarios as they're just a little bit different. But firstly, for specific folders from SharePoint and OneDrive. When you're typing in the prompt box, there's going to be a little plus sign that you can see in the bottom left of that left-hand screenshot that is for adding documents. Click that and you'll see a similar drop down to what you can see on the left. And then for this update specifically, head to that blue Attach Cloud Files option in the top right-hand corner This will open up a window like you see on the right, which has your recent files, pinned files, favorites, shared files, etc., etc. Now, it's not too different from when you were able to just connect individual files, but you're now able to select entire folders, which will automatically select all of the relevant files within the folder as well. Perhaps it's obvious, but like I say, you are also able to select the individual files as well. So this update comes as an addition to the previous capabilities. Now, onto how to ground a SharePoint site into your prompt. It's straightforward to do so, again, by typing into the prompt box and then looking across the top bar, like you can see in the screenshot on the left. Click on the Sites button, and this will show you all of the SharePoint sites that you have access to. Select the desired site to help you with your prompt, and Copilot will go through everything on that site to find any and all relevant documents, files, and folders. Additionally, this is going to be available in the Copilot chat. So again, head to the Copilot app, start typing in your prompt, and find the Add Content option. Select Attach Cloud Files again, and then you're good to go. This should be a brilliant update to support all of your Copilot needs. Perhaps you don't actually even necessarily know all of the files or folders that might be relevant to your query or project. But now, by being able to point Copilot at an entire SharePoint site, means that it can do some of that hard grunt work in finding your relevant information to support your work. Now, it's quite likely that it won't be the most accurate or that quick, depending on the size of your site, but it'll probably give us a good idea of some of the folders or documents to start looking into further if you need to. Of course, could be wrong and it'll work flawlessly, but at the very least, it's sounding like Copilot is becoming a more robust solution with each update. And I'd just love to see that the experience is becoming more consistent across Microsoft 365 apps and versions. And anything that can save you and I a little bit of time in terms of scouring for useful files is good in my books. Now, this update was originally due all the way back in February, which feels like an age away now, but it's set to be due by the end of August. So we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm not going to hold my breath with how often they've delayed it so far, and we'll just see when it gets rolled out. But I'm pretty looking forward to this one. So sticking with the theme of Copilot, we've got a new functionality coming to PowerPoint. For a while now, you've been able to ask Copilot to help you create a PowerPoint presentation with prompts that reference Word documents, for example. Well, after this rollout, users can use Excel files when searching for files that Copilot can use in that process of creating a presentation. So very quick and easy update. And all you have to do is select the Copilot icon that's in that top PowerPoint ribbon. You can see that highlighted in the top of this slide here, and then in the top right of it. Choose Create a Presentation from File, and then you just search for your Excel files by name, or you can even paste in the URL from Microsoft OneDrive or SharePoint. Now, my understanding of this update is that Copilot will be able to incorporate data, numbers, and tables of information into a visually appealing PowerPoint, perhaps taking the figures and data from Excel spreadsheets and turning it into various charts to more clearly and visually demonstrate the content. And at the very least, it's yet another source that you can add to your prompts to help you create the most relevant and perhaps even eye-catching presentations. I do think that PowerPoint is one of Copilot's weaker areas. However, with referencing data from Excel files, it might just give you a bit of inspiration on how to display the figures and information. Or, as I always say, it should help to break that white space, which I know can be such a daunting prospect for many of us. This update is due by the end of August. Okay, we're going to move on from Copilot now, I should say. We've had a few of them, and we're going to look at some quality of life updates that are coming to Teams. Microsoft are introducing a new feature that they're calling a new meeting join bar. When your meeting or meetings start, then a banner is going to pop up on your Teams screen. Initially, the banner will display the number of meetings that are live at that time. So let's say, as you can see in the screenshot here, you've got a clash. Well, you'll be able to click View More to see more details about each of the meetings. And that will then look like this screenshot. You'll be able to see the time of the call, name of the meeting, the invitation list, along with who invited you specifically. You can see how long the meeting is going to be or is set to be, as well as how long the call has already been live for, and actually who's joined it as well. So that's the little bubbles with the people's faces in it, as far as I understand. From here, you can then make that decision about which of the meetings you'll join, and you get the option to join or message if you want to let the other call know that you've got a clash, for example. This feature should help reduce the chances of you missing a meeting start, make them quicker to join, and also make your life a bit easier with clearly displaying some of the more relevant information about the meetings. I feel like this could be particularly handy for those of you whose roles require you to be invited to and involved in many meetings throughout the day. Having the information displayed side by side like this will hopefully make the decision a little bit easier for you to decide to actually not go to either of the meetings, and you can just get on with your work instead. So if you're like me and you use Outlook reminders to keep you on top of your meetings and your calendar invitations, then this may end up actually getting in the way and adding to the list of notification sounds and pop-ups that you start to react to. Well, don't worry, you will be able to turn this setting on or off with the Teams settings. Go to Settings, Notifications and Activity, and then scroll down to the Meeting section where you can toggle the option for the join bar, like you can see at the bottom of this slide just here. This update was due at the end of last month, so please let me know if you've had access to it or if you think it'll be useful going forward, as the update hasn't landed with me yet, so I've not been able to check it out myself. Here's another quality of life update coming to your Teams very soon. You will soon be able to customize your Teams experience by choosing an accent color for the Teams shell, and your choice will show up across different aspects of Teams as well. This change is purely going to be cosmetic, and it only makes these changes at your end of Teams, so you're not changing the color for the whole organization or for the group chats that you're in. It also doesn't impact functionality or performance at all. In this example, you can see that choosing the pink accent color changes a few different things across Teams. You've got your message bubbles, any hyperlinks that are in the chat, and the Teams shell, which includes things like the little highlight bar under the text box when you click into it and start typing your message. Now, I have to admit, due to my color deficiency, I can't quite tell if some of the other aspects are pink, or if they're just a bit gray, or if they've changed or not. So if you spot anything else in the screenshot that's a bit pink, then let me know. And it just gives you an idea of some of the different aspects that change when you choose the different colors. And you can see on the left-hand side, there's a bit of a variety of colors that you're able to choose from. Now, if you've joined the webinars before, you'll know that I love two things: quality of life updates and the ability to make your workspace more suitable for the way that you work. And if that's to add a splash of different color just to mix it up a bit, then I'm all for it. It may not make your work faster or necessarily easier, but considering most of us use things like Teams every working day, then if it's a bit more aesthetically pleasing to look at for 8 hours a day, then I think that can only be a good thing. Now, this update is due from early to late September. Now, I've thrown in a bonus update, again, just adding to that quality of life theme. I know that we all have to deal with non-stop pop-ups, whether it's emails, whether it's Teams notifications and calls, and this happens throughout your working day. And sometimes you don't want to mute an important chat, but the notifications are starting to get in the way, especially if you're just working off of one screen. So you can now change your notification setting to make the pop-up less intrusive. Microsoft have introduced a new compact option for notification windows. It's available now. You should be able to go into your settings right now and check it. And to do so, head to your Teams settings. So you find them through the three-dot menu at the top right of your Teams window. Click on Notifications and Activity. Scroll down just a little bit until you find the Display section. And then under Size, you can then select the new compact option for your notifications. In the past, I've covered the settings just above that in terms of the position that your notifications pop up. So you can also change that to suit your needs as well. This option is off by default, but if you're interested in trying it out, then go have a look because, as I say, this one was rolled out at the end of July, so you should have access to it now. And there we go, a bit of a quick fire one today. I just want to quickly let you know about the next month, the next webinar in this series, which will be coming next month. So it'll be taking place on Thursday, the 4th of September, and you can register for that now on our website or through the link that my colleague has posted into the chat box just now. We look forward to seeing you all there, and if there's any topics or questions that you wish for me to cover in the next webinar, then please just get in touch with me. I'll be happy to have a look. That's the link in the chat just now, so make sure that if you want to just have it in your diary, go ahead and register just now. And remember that all of these webinars are recorded and accessible through our YouTube channel and website. So make sure to go and have a look through them if you're interested in seeing what you've missed, learning a bit more, and also feel free to share them with your colleagues as well. I'll quickly just take you through our stakeholder workshop, the Bedroq run, called the 8 Rocks assessment. It goes back to the 8 rocks that I talked through right at the beginning of the webinar. It's a stakeholder workshop that's designed to get consensus on your business priorities. It can be conducted face-to-face or virtually, and it gets leaders and investors aligned behind the best ways to fully assess your IT strategy. Now, it's important to note there are no cost implications with this at that point, but it's just about a mutual investment of time. So let's say you're an IT leader at your organization and you need a bit of backup to prove to the CFO that you need to make an investment into your IT, or perhaps you're just looking at ways that you can better use your existing IT investments. Well, we're happy to look at all of these things. So let us know if it's something that might interest you, and we'll be happy to set this up and introduce you to the team that will walk you through this process. Okay, we've got some time for Q&A. If you have any more questions, feel free to pop them in the box just now, but I'm just going to have a quick drink and read, and let's see what's coming. Okay. Okay, so we've got a question going back to a Copilot Search right at the very beginning here, saying that they've had access to this this feature and have been trying it out. They've done a lot to configure their current search, and they're asking if Copilot Search will be seen alongside your existing search or if it'll always be separate. For now, in the way that Microsoft like to do things, they don't tend to integrate everything, certainly not straight away anyway. So it's quite likely that it's going to be a separate thing specifically within the Copilot app, as opposed to, say, the Teams chat at the side. But it's hard to say. It's quite likely at some point they might just integrate them all together to make them all the same. So it's the same experience, and then that might change some of your configurations. But at this time, there's no details about that, I'm afraid. Someone else asking if there's going to be a better or more integrated way of accessing this, the Copilot Search, that is, or if Microsoft are trying to make you go to the Copilot app. Well, it seems, as I said for that last answer, quite likely they're just trying to get more users using Copilot, the Copilot app specifically itself. So at least that's where they're trialing the new features. It's fairly likely in the future that, as I say, they will bring that level of AI-powered search to the integrated options within Teams and other Microsoft 365 apps. But again, there's not been anything said that I read at the moment anyway about integrations. A question saying that when they've used the new Copilot Search, it reverts to a new, different search layout that ignores all of the good stuff they've done to change their search configurations. I'm afraid I don't know the why as to why they've done that, but it tends to be the way when Microsoft make these sorts of changes. They become a completely different entity and not integrated or connected to some of the things that you've done in the past. I can have a look into it, but it's more likely that it's just going to be a separate thing for now, unfortunately. Oh, somebody asking if I can enable closed captions and subtitles. Yep, it's something I can go and have a look at. I can set that up for the next one. Unfortunately, I have only seen that now at the end of the webinar, but I can look into activating that setting later on. Not a problem. Okay, and that seems to be it. As I say, if you think of anything else, feel free to drop them into the box. But if you have any more questions, maybe they'll come to you when I send out the fact sheet later today. Then please just feel free to reply to that email, and I'll be sending out with the recording. And as always, I'll be happy to help with any queries about the content in this webinar or anything else, any of your suggestions. We'll look to cover them in the future as well. And just a quick reminder about cybersecurity. If it's on your mind and you want to talk to us and find out more about how we can support you and your organization, then just please reply to the email that'll be coming out later today or get in touch through the website. So again, thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Goodbye.